The trajectory of the object is strange because it actually is aligned to within 5 degrees with the orbital plane of the planets around the sun. The Earth moves around the sun in a plane, and this object within 5 degrees comes exactly in that plane. The chance for that to happen is 0.2% out of all orientations of the incoming object. So why would it choose to come? And then it comes closest to the sun on October 29th, 2025, when the Earth is exactly on the opposite side of the sun. So the sun is eclipsing this object for us. We won't be able to see it at its closest approach. If it were a spacecraft, that's the best point for it to do a maneuver to basically slow down using the gravitational assist from the sun, and then perhaps get bound to the sun and visit us. So, and in addition, this trajectory, if you just arrange for a random arrival time, only in one case out of 20,000, you get this object to pass as close as it will to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. So the arrival time is also very fine-tuned the other thing is that it arrives towards us from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, from that direction, which is very crowded with stars. And that made it quite difficult to see it at a large distance. So we only discovered it in July 2025. By now, there is no way that we can launch a rocket that will intercept it from Earth. And also, it will move in the opposite direction relative to the motion of Earth around the sun, a retrograde orbit. And that makes it moving relative to Earth at nearly 100 kilometers per second. It's a huge speed. It's the kind of the speed limit on a highway times 1,000 or so. It's when you drive for an hour, you cross a certain distance that this object traverses in 1 second. Okay. Jeez. So at any event, we can't really intercept it from Earth. But here is the interesting point. I wrote a paper this morning, submitted it for publication. That's why I was a bit delayed to our conversation.
That's acceptable.
It turns out that there is a spacecraft orbiting Jupiter that was sent there in 2011. It's called Juno. Juno was the wife of Jupiter in Roman mythology. And so they called this spacecraft Juno because it went to Jupiter, the planet, to study conditions on the planet. And this mission was supposed to end in September 2025, just a couple of months from now, by sending Juno in a plunging orbit into the atmosphere of Jupiter. So that's the way it will die. And we just calculated that if instead of doing that, instead of killing Juno, the spacecraft, you just give it a nudge, you fire the engine of Juno, which was not used since 2016. Okay, so for the last 9 years, it wasn't activated. But if you can activate it and give it a boost of about 2.6 kilometers per second, a very little nudge, it could intercept 3I Atlas. That would be an amazing opportunity for us to learn more about 3I Atlas and maybe even collide with it.